Remember that time you learned Disney's secrets?
Today we are talking about Disney's secrets. Ooh.
Once upon a time, the Disney company had a smash hit called Disneyland.
People from all over the world are coming to Disneyland to realize their dreams.
The name Walt Disney was on everybody's lips. Everyone knew if you wanted to have a good time, you take yourself over to Anaheim, California to that Walt Disney's Disneyland.
So what does Walt do? He begins to dream up another project.
And they wanted to build another one somewhere where they wouldn't be constrained by a city.
So he went ahead and decided to move forward on a Florida project.
It was also called Project X within WED Enterprises, which is the early precursor to Walt Disney Imagineering.
But they knew, because Disney was such a well-known name, it was a very profitable company, that if they said, hey, we're the Disney company, we're here in Florida, baby, we're up in the 407, sell us your land, those prices would be like marked up big time.
What did he do? He lied. He lied.
He was secretly buying it using shell corporations, I think. Shell companies. They might not have been corporations.
Roy Disney came up with the very clever idea of making a bunch of shell companies to buy up land in small pieces so that they wouldn't get a huge markup.
A corporation is a company, but all companies are not corporations. Like geometry, where all parallelograms are no.
And they didn't call them like Mickey Mouse LLC or like the Tinkerbell Corporation. They called them really generic things like Reedy Creek Properties.
Is it parallelogram? Or is a parallelogram a rhombus? It's been too long since I learned shapes.
And a reporter says to him, Mr. Disney, people think it's you buying all that land up in Central Florida. What do you have to say about that?
He began to list a lot of things that, a lot of reasons why he would not want to buy land in Florida.
It's hot. It torrentially rains half the year, every day. It's swampland, which would be hard to build on.
And effectively what that did for this journalist and for the general population is confirmed that it was in fact Walt Disney.
So she breaks the news that it's Walt Disney buying all this land. And of course, the last few acres they needed, way more expensive. They bought the last eighth of the property for more than the other 7/8 combined, because by now, the jig is up.
If I had to make up a fake name for a company, it would be
Secret Breedlove. Because that way no one will know it's me. It's like, it's a secret, so shut up. You know what I mean?
Froman's sausages.
I'd call it Silver Thread Securities. And now that's such a deep cut for random Dungeons and Dragons nonsense. I don't expect anybody to recognize that, but when somebody casts an alarm spell, you have to use a spool of silver thread, so I'm gonna call it Silver Thread Securities.
I assume I'm trying to be secret about it, because otherwise it would be like Kronk Giggles LLC.
Leprechaun Investments. If you know, you know.
I think that this is actually kind of a cool part of Disney history, especially because basically the land they were buying up, they had like so much swampland. And at the time, Florida looked nothing like it does now.
I think it shows the brilliance of Roy Disney, who had to get very creative in order to fund all of these dreams that his brother had. Once again, people don't thank Roy Disney, even though he's there in the Magic Kingdom. He's there with Minnie Mouse. First of all, if one more person calls that Walt Disney, I'm gonna scream. Every time I'm there taking a picture, somebody's like, well, go sit with Walt and Minnie. And I'm like, don't yell at strangers, Molly. Don't correct strangers. Don't be that person. But it is Roy and Minnie.
You know what? I mean, in hindsight, I wouldn't have picked hot Florida. I'd have gone up to Atlanta or Charlotte, somewhere that's a little less hot.
I think it would have been fine kind of wherever it was, but I'm personally glad, because I moved somewhere to be close to it, that it's somewhere that doesn't really have a winter, because that's something that's very attractive to me at this stage in my life.
I don't think it'd be too different. I mean, I think the big thing would be that it would be a lot drier and a lot drier. Those two, the biggest differences are right there.
Florida rains half the year, like torrential hurricane downpours. And I don't like it because I don't like getting wet. So I think I would like, Texas Disney World better, because then I'd have tacos and less rain.
Project so vast, it has already been called a whole new Disney World.
We're
We're all dressed as our favorite Disney Plus characters.
So another big secret that Disney tried and failed to keep was the acquisition of Fox.
Did you know this? I didn't even know this. Disney bought 21st Century Fox.
I'm gonna try my Fox. Why would we? We're Disney. We have nothing to do with foxes, okay? We made Fox and the Hound. Yeah.
Disney's like, we're not big enough yet. Let's buy more entertainment stuff.
All right, Robin Hood's a fox, but that's it. That's the extent of it. Why would we try to buy Fox?
You ever play Monopoly with a friend who buys up all the properties and charges all the fees? Well, what happens when that friend becomes a major corporation?
Ridiculous. So silly. Silly goose. No.
The main reason Disney wanted Fox was because Disney Plus was in the works, and they wanted the rights to a lot of Fox's properties, a lot of Fox's media, like The Simpsons. And they wanted to make their streaming platform competitive with like Netflix, because Disney obviously owns a lot of content. They've got the MCU, they've got Star Wars, but they didn't have a lot of like adult entertainment content, movies for grown-ups. I'm talking about movies with PG-13 and R ratings.
Parents deserve to have a little fun.
Yeah!
Disney does own many R-rated movies, which awesome, because Disney Plus is not going to necessarily carry those. However, Hulu, which Disney also owns, that's where a lot of these end up going.
Sometimes I like to watch an R-rated movie, all right?
No.
I'm gonna just be honest. And when I do, and they say a couple swear words, I think, I'm an adult, and I can handle this. And I will get back to watching Little Mermaid tomorrow.
I'm gonna drop a little secret on you. Disney owned R-rated movies before. Disney in the 90s had a production company called Touchstone, which you may have heard of. And it made movies like Armageddon and Signs and Good Morning Vietnam and The Village. So Disney's done adult entertainment. It sounds like adult entertainment. When I say adult entertainment, does it not sound like I'm talking like adult entertainment? I'm not.
So the secret was not kept.
They kept it such a secret, I didn't find out till this morning. That's when I found out.
So a journalist broke the news of what was occurring, and then what Disney did not want to happen ended up happening, and that was where they had a competition and bidding between two massive media conglomerates, one being Comcast, the other being Disney, over Fox.
Both of them offered all cash. What's that like? What's it like to be like, I will give you $50 million?
It was at the tune of almost $71 billion.
Billion. It's billion. It's $52 billion.
So this is where I'm going to wear two different hats, audience. One, I think that for the Disney organization, it was a smart acquisition. As a consumer, it worries me because I don't know if I'm going to get the same quality and variety of content that I think I want or would want moving forward. So from a business perspective, I completely understand it and I respect it, and I think it's a very smart move. As a consumer, it worries me because we're limiting the competition in the ecosystem, which could then come to worse products.
There's only one stream that has every kind of stream you could ever want to stream. It's called the Disney Bundle.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Walt Disney was a smoker.
This one was really kind of unsuccessful because the 60s, the 50s was a different time, y'all, okay?
It's like Bing Crosby. Walt and Bing were really good friends. They did Ichabod, and Bing Crosby wouldn't smoke a cigarette in public. He thought that didn't look classy. That's why he always had the pipe. And Walt tried not to be seen smoking, but obviously he did enjoy a cigarette.
Dick Nunis, very prominent figure in the Disney company, started at Disneyland. Dick was a leader over in Adventureland in Disneyland. And Walt said, Dick, you're doing a really great job. You're making the rides run so smoothly. Is there anything I can do for you to help you make your life easier? And Dick said, well, Mr. Disney, it would really help me if you didn't smoke on stage, because it's a rule for the cast members that they can't smoke on stage. They can only smoke backstage, but a lot of cast was smoking walking to and from their break. And he kept having to reprimand them. And he was like, whenever I reprimand them, they say, but Walt Disney, we see Walt smoking on stage, so why can't we smoke? And Walt looked at Dick and was like, but I'm Walt Disney. And Dick's like, I know, sir, I know who you are. You just asked if there was anything I could do, and that would really help me out a lot. And he said he never saw him smoke on stage again. Which I think is a very cool story.
Well, the Disney company does not advertise Walt as a smoker overtly because of brand image, and that results in it becoming a secret or sort of hush-hush topic.
I think of it less as them trying to sort of improve or manipulate Walt's image, and more so that they're not promoting smoking in the parks.
They have gone to lengths to cover it up though. For example, in Saving Mr. Banks, you're not really gonna see Walt smoking.
In Disney World, in Hollywood Studios, there is an exhibit called One Man's Dream, which is a Walt Disney exhibit. And in that exhibit, they actually photoshopped cigarettes out of Walt Disney's hands.
He's always pointing like this, which is part of the way the Disney point came about. But 2, it's blurry. It looks like I photoshopped it, and I have no Photoshop skills. It looks like someone just took the blur function and like ran over his fingers. So now his fingers are blurry. And 3, if you go find that photo on the internet, he's got a cigarette in his hand.
Boy, is it just not a good example of photoshopping. You could have hired me, who is adequate at best at Photoshop, and had done a better job than what was done. That's what we should be talking about.
Did they successfully keep it a secret? No.
It's written and talked about in many biographies of Walt himself. I think if you read any or a lot of the content and books that have been written about Walt or Walt adjacent from those historians or those people who might have worked with him in the past, it will be mentioned.
I don't think it's a secret the way that like buying up properties secretly was a secret. I do think it's something Disney doesn't like to talk about. As a company, they don't want to like advertise and show pictures of Walt Disney smoking.
Not because they want to make him look better or change the way he's viewed, but just so they're not promoting the use of tobacco products.
I had a wager. I couldn't get you on a ride. I just won $20.
All right, joke's on you, bonus section.
Here comes the bonus category.
We're talking about Universal. Shh, secrets out, okay? No more secrets here.
Universal is hilarious when trying to hide new attractions, specifically Velocicoaster and whatever is replacing Shrek 4D.
Velocicoaster is a thrilling, lift your butt out of your seat 12 times kind of ride.
They did try and keep Velocicoaster a secret for quite some time, which was kind of hilarious because anyone who has seen Velocicoaster knows it's absolutely massive and is impossible to miss.
We knew they were building Velocicoaster. We knew they were building an epic roller coaster. I mean, how can you not see the construction?
But Universal, as opposed to being like, yeah, it's Velocicoaster, guys, they kept this bit up where they just kept going, no, it's a churro stand.
They just like swore up and down that it was a churro stand. Like they were like, no. I know that you see like the lift hill or whatever. It's a churro stand.
Which is weird, cool, fun, irritating. You be the judge.
To the point where I was there opening day of Velocicoaster. When you got off the ride, they had cast members giving out churros. And they were like, see, it was a churro stand. Universal social media deserves an award because they are snarky and hilarious.
So Universal is keeping another secret from us, y'all, okay? And unfortunately, this might be a sore topic for our dear Quincy.
Everybody pause for a moment. Find a beverage. Doesn't have to be an adult beverage. It can be lemonade. And pour a little bit out for Shrek 4D.
Universal has not announced anything that will replace Shrek 4D. I am upset, of course, because I know that it is not going to be a Shrek attraction.
They have given some hints that it is going to be Minion themed.
You want to know what I hope for? I really hope that they got rid of Shrek 4D and they're replacing it with something non-Shrek, because Epic Universe is going to have a Shrek Land.
The funniest thing they did was they like tweeted this video of an onion outside of Shrek 4D, and then they pick it up and replace it with a banana.
Banana.
I really want a Shrek Land at Universal Epic Universe when it opens.
They also now have Minions like on the wall around it, and it's right across the Minions ride, so it's gonna be a Minions attraction.
If you know somebody working on Epic Universe, maybe just tell them It'd be really cool if there was a Shrek Land. If you're working on Epic Universe, just know, I think it would be really cool if there was a Shrek Land. If you're like driving down the road by Epic Universe, you see people working in that area, just like shout out your car window, like, give me a Shrek Land. Maybe someone could put up a honk for Shrek Land sign nearby.
Overall, I feel like in order for any company to be successful, right, they can't tell everybody everything.
But much like high school, it doesn't work. There's gonna be gossip, there's gonna be hot info. People want it. And in the age of technology, people are gonna get it.
I'm glad that there is this kind of stuff that I can look into and write about on AllEars to show you guys, and it's just cool stuff.
This is what I'm imagining, is like there's a limo pulling up and a bunch of guys get out and they all have briefcases that have like mouse ears on them. And over here you've got another limo pulling up, and those guys get out of their limo, but it's like multiple limos, and then those guys have briefcases with like the universal globe on them, and all of them have $50+ million in cash. Is that what that means? Because that's what I'm imagining. Billion. It's billion. It's $52 billion. Wow, those Disney secrets were pretty neat. Now go watch our episode on Disney rides that never happened.